If only you detached my legs, I wouldn't be in this ridiculous position. Now remember, Chewbacca, you have a responsibility for me, so don't do anything foolish.
What if he doesn't survive? He's worth a lot to me.
The Empire will compensate you if he dies. Put him in.
The princess. You have to take care of her.
I love you.
I know.
Hello.
Yeah, Star Wars. All these stormtroopers. Now, wouldn't it be great if you were a rebel and you could just kill off these stormtroopers here, easy as pie? Well, unfortunately, these stormtroopers are not as in the first movie. These are not ordered to miss you. They want to hit you, and they will. Or wouldn't it be lovely to play as the stormtroopers and kill off those rebel scums? You can do both, actually. So let's find out Star Wars Imperial Assault. Cool t-shirt, eh? I think so anyway. I like both Imperial Settlers and I like Star Wars, so it's a win-win for me. This game comes with heroes and the Empire. So these four things here are the heroes. There are 6 available in the game. And we have Diala, we have Muck, we have Fen, and Garken, who is a Wookiee. The task of this hero is to complete missions. So the game is played as a campaign. You complete a mission, and then you note down the result of that mission, and you get experience points. And with those points you can buy better skills and become stronger heroes. You also get money that allows you to buy equipment and become stronger that way as well. So continually you're upgrading those heroes against the Empire. But one player has to play the Empire, the evil Empire, and he has something else in mind. On this side of the table we have the Imperial player, and that's usually me. I have all these cards to disposal, but not all the time. But these are units that I am able to put into the mission to stop you, like the Trandoshan Hunter or the Nexu or the IG-88 or Boba Fett or even Darth Vader himself. But my mission is to stop you. In some role-playing games, you are the dungeon master and you want to make a challenge. But not here. I want to stop you. I want to win this scenario, because this scenario and later scenarios I will also be able to upgrade myself using experience point and influence. So I really want to stop you, and I have a lot of power at my disposal. As the Imperial player, I can activate one of my units here. And each of these cards represent a group of figures here. So I have painted my figures so to make some precautions. I have marked this card here with a black marker. That means that these figures here with a black base, they belong to this card. The grey ones here and the red ones to this one. If you don't paint it, you can put up some markers or even stickers you can put on. That also comes in the game, but they're not by default. But on my turn, I can just tap this and activate 3 of those stormtroopers who can then move and attack and do other stuff. And afterwards, the rebels go, one hero, and afterwards that, I go, and back and forth until everybody else has passed. And then the round is over, and we start a new round. Each hero has an activation marker, and when that hero has been done, he flips it over to the red side to indicate that he is done for this round. So we alternate back and forth like this until every player has played all the units, and afterwards it's a new round. So on my turn I can do a lot of stuff. I can move, and there's a number here on the sheet that says how far I can move. And I can open doors and interact with objects and pick up pressures and rest. And of course I can attack. And there's a difference between attack from the heroes and the other figures. All figures that are not heroes can only attack once per round, but heroes can attack twice. That is horrible for the Empire to be able to attack twice against them. So the heroes are strong, they're really strong, and it's very hard to kill them. Each hero has an ability to rest just like, and then he gets all this strain or stamina back, and he can even heal himself by doing this. So it's very hard to take them out, and it is possible to kill them, but you have to kill them twice, because the first time you kill them they only get wounded and weaker, but it's really, really hard and frustrating for the Empire. But also, the Empire has a lot of figures. So the rookie here can, for instance, use his ability on the card and charge in and attack several of these stormtroopers here. And he can do it twice almost. It's very, very difficult for the Empire, but also it's very cool. Well, the game is played over a campaign, and this campaign guide has everything you need. This explains all the missions. Now, there is a big difference here from Descent and this one. In Descent you have missions as well, but the huge difference here is that everything in here is secret to the rebels. So it says here clearly, stop. If you are a rebel player, do not read further. Because the missions have certain elements of surprise that is crucial that the rebel players do not know. So that is a great, great thing to have. You know, oh, we're gonna open the door, and oh, stop it, something is gonna happen now. Or, okay, we're end of round 6, so something happens. But there is one slight problem with that. You see, as a rebel player, I'm not supposed to know what happens now. So let's say I played this mission before, and I'm a rebel. So I know that when I open this door, something will happen. Like enemies will come here, and here, or enemies will come behind us. And yes, I can choose not to reveal this to the other players, but it is very hard to play without being affected by the knowledge I have. And this kind of ruins the replayability. So I have played as Imperial player every time. So for me, it's great. I can experience the same scenarios with different players, and I discover new ways to play. And this campaign has kind of a story arc or a tree that branches out to different directions depending on the success or failure of a mission. So it is very interesting for me as Empire to look at the different missions and see how things work out. But as a rebel player, you should not have the knowledge of what's going to happen, and that is a great negative thing about replayability in this game. So it needs expansions if you are playing with the same people. This game really captures the Star Wars feeling. It's incredibly fun to move the figures around and killing stormtroopers or using stormtroopers against you, and you really get a Star Wars feeling of this game, so that is great. But how does combat work then? There's a lot of combat in this game. Combat is actually pretty simple. I choose a weapon, in this case I choose this one, a staff, and I get a green and a yellow die. And this icon here indicates whether it's a melee weapon or ranged, so sword is a melee weapon. The defender, he, in this case a stormtrooper, he rolls a black die. So we roll simultaneously actually. The game comes with a lot of different colored dice with a lot of symbols on them. So the black and white, they are defense, and the rest are offensive weapon. So right now I'm using the green and yellow die, and the opponent rolls the black one. So roll this at the same time. Okay, so these are damages, hits. The lightning is special ability things, and the number here is how far you can reach if you're using a ranged weapon. These icons here, they cancel a hit. So 1, 2 hits against 3, so it cancels both of them. Maybe I can activate a special ability or something that can make me damage him, but maybe not. So it looks like it was 0 damage for this turn. In the center you have this die here, and on it there's a big X, but not on this one. Now instead they have moved the miss symbol to the defender, and the defender has 2 dice to choose from, black and white. And on the white one, here you will have the symbol, this one, that indicates an automatic miss. So that's quite interesting, I think, and I like that decision. Another thing I liked about this game is the maps, the map tiles. In Descent, you rarely had the opportunity to play other than either outside or inside or desert or something. It's either or. There's no compromises here. In this game, you can choose to go from the inside to the outside in the forest, and then to the desert, and then to some junkyard, and then to the inside again. So you have a lot of more options here to build maps, and you have a lot of variety, and I really do like that. Okay, spoiler alert, I love this game. I just love everything about it almost, and you really get into the theme, and you really have the tension of completing the missions. And yeah, I'm going to come to the conclusion afterwards, but first there is one more thing I want to mention. This game is a campaign, so you really want to play with the same people, a group of people every time. But this game has something that Descent does not have, and that is a skirmish mode. Yeah, you put up 2 teams, which you build yourself, against each other, and you just have a mashup. So I'm gonna check that out, and afterwards I come to the conclusion of this game. So skirmish modes, they are kind of different. They are maps where you have two teams against each other, and those teams can be built up not by only the Empire versus Rebels, but also mercenaries. So you have 3 factions here to choose from to build your army. And of course your army has to consist of one of those factions. But in the base game, you get a limited choices because there are limited units or figures in the base game. So when you play skirmish, you will feel the need to buy expansions. And fortunately and coincidentally, we have expansions. Ta-da! In the base game, you start with Lord Vader and Luke Skywalker expansion. So they are not expansions, but they are a nice introduction to how expansion works. Because in Descent, expansion were like an afterthought for getting new cards. But here it's really thought out. So I have a lot of expansions. Here you see. And all of these expansions, they include skirmish maps and a campaign map, which you can include in your current campaign or future campaign. And it really, really works. And both the skirmish with new units and the campaign with new maps, it's brilliant, actually. I love it. And with the Return of the Hoth expansion coming out now, you can have up to 4 players playing skirmish. Well, I kind of gave it away, didn't I? Yeah, I truly, truly love this game. It is an excellent game. You really get into the Star Wars feeling. And there's so much into this. The base game has very many figures, and it has, I don't know, 30 missions or something in the campaign mode. And it's a lot, actually. So I really do enjoy this. And the skirmish missions as well, that is also helps. Because not always do you have multiple players. So of course, you need to kind of enjoy this kind of game to enjoy this one. If you don't like Descent, you will not like this one, I bet you. But maybe if it's a theme in Descent you don't like, and you like Star Wars, you will truly love this one. Because it truly brings forth the Star Wars feeling and the epic battles, and the story is great as well. So yeah, I do enjoy this game. But is it better than Descent 2nd edition? Well, it's kind of hard to say. First off, if you don't like Star Wars, there's no reason to get this one if you enjoy fantasy, because the theming is almost the only thing that changed. It is only optimized a bit for expansions, and it's not necessarily a good thing that you have expansions. You need to buy more and more, but also I do feel there is a bit difference. I don't know if it's just the theme that does it, but as the Imperial player, there is a slight difference in how the feeling is in the game. Because you don't have the overlord cards that you can play immediately now and then, and you're not supposed to wait until all the heroes have done their stuff before you do your stuff. And yeah, there is a different feeling to the games. So it's hard to me to recommend this in front of the other. I don't think this is a better game, but it does have more streamlined rules and it's more optimized for expansion. That is true, but I would say if you like Star Wars, get this one. If you like fantasy, get Descent. Do you need both? Well, no, I don't think so, but yes, at the same time. I have painted all my models and all my Descent, so I've become a bit attached to Descent, but I'm not sure if that is the only reason. I do enjoy playing Descent still. So, what can I say? If you don't own any of them, then you just have to go with the guts. Star Wars or fantasy. Both are good games, and I enjoy them both a lot. So, yeah, that's it. But if you might not play skirmish, you have Star Wars, so you have that. Okay, thank you for watching, and as a side note, this game was voted on by Patreon supporters, and that's why I'm doing this now. So if you want to support me financially, please check out my Patreon account and see how you can help there. And that also may give you the option to vote for the next game I'm going to review, so I really appreciate that. Also, if you have comments on anything that you want to have me change or do better, then please tell me, and it is much appreciated. It also counts as support, so thank you a lot for that. Okay, thank you for watching this episode, and I hope to see you again next time. See ya!
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.